Love truly knows no boundaries, as demonstrated by Lou, a Labrador who defied all expectations when she raised 3 abandoned tiger cubs. These cubs were left orphaned after their mother was no longer able to care for them, and Lou, with her innate nurturing instincts, stepped in to care for them. The bond that formed between the cubs and Lou astounded everyone who witnessed it. Unfortunately, the inevitable moment came when the cubs had to be separated from Lou because they were growing larger and their instincts were becoming more pronounced. However, 2 years later, something truly extraordinary occurred that no one could have ever predicted. Jim, a passionate animal advocate, had dedicated his life to the well-being of all creatures. With extensive experience in animal protection and care, he secured a permanent consulting position at the local zoo, where he continued his work in animal welfare. Jim's commitment extended beyond his professional duties as he also took part in various animal rescue efforts. One day, during his daily commute, he stumbled upon a helpless Labrador puppy who had been abandoned on the street. Without a second thought, Jim scooped her up and brought her into his life. Naming her Lulu became a cherished member of his family, and her new life unfolded at the zoo, where she became an integral part of the zoo's operations. At the zoo, Lou quickly adapted to her surroundings, accompanying Jim during his rounds to check on the animals. While she couldn't physically interact with them, Lou would greet them with a wagging tail, peering through the enclosures with a friendly gaze. She often lent a helping paw to the zoo staff, carrying supplies or providing a calming presence to the other animals. Jim and Lou's bond deepened over time, and they became inseparable companions. Lou's presence at the zoo was not only a source of joy for Jim, but also for the zoo staff and the animals she interacted with. 3 years after rescuing Lou, Jim received an urgent call about 3 tiger cubs that had been abandoned in the countryside. The cubs were in dire need of a safe place to be cared for, as they had been left without their mother. Jim knew immediately that his zoo was the perfect sanctuary for them, and without hesitation, he welcomed the cubs into the zoo's care. When the cubs arrived, Jim and the staff were uncertain about how Lou would react to these new additions. As the cubs were introduced to the zoo, something remarkable happened. Lou, who had always been a loving companion to Jim and the other animals, immediately became drawn to the cubs. It was as if some primal instinct had awakened within her, and she began to approach the cubs with tender affection. To everyone's astonishment, Lou treated the cubs as if they were her own. With a protective and motherly demeanor, Lou gathered the cubs close to her, licking them tenderly and ensuring they were safe and warm. The cubs, in turn, accepted Lou as their mother, and this bond formed naturally, with Lou caring for them as she would for her own offspring. The zoo staff and veterinarians were in awe of this incredible connection between a dog and tiger cubs, realizing that such an event was incredibly rare and truly remarkable. Lou's natural maternal instincts allowed her to care for the cubs, and the bond between them only grew stronger over time. The cubs flourished under her care, growing from timid, frightened little creatures into confident, energetic young tigers. For nearly 3 months, Lou took on the role of a nurturing mother to the cubs, grooming them, aiding in their feeding, and teaching them how to behave. Her devotion to the cubs was unwavering, and the zoo staff marveled at how well the cubs thrived in Lou's care. However, as the cubs grew larger and stronger, it became clear that it was time for them to be separated from Lou. They needed to socialize with other tigers, and Lou, who was smaller and more vulnerable, needed protection from their powerful claws and teeth. While Lou appeared saddened by the separation, she found solace in knowing that her cubs were growing and becoming strong, confident tigers. 2 years later, during a massive summer storm, an extraordinary event unfolded that brought Lou and the tiger cubs back together. As the storm raged, the zoo staff was busy ensuring the safety of the animals, but in the chaos, they inadvertently overlooked Lulu, who had always been afraid of storms, panicked, and sought shelter. In her frantic state, she found herself in the adult tiger enclosure. When Jim saw Lou in the enclosure, he rushed to intervene, but something extraordinary happened that stopped him in his tracks. The adult tigers, who could have seen Lou as a threat, instead remained calm, And to Jim's astonishment, the 3 tiger cubs Lou had raised appeared in front of her. Now grown, the cubs had formed an unexpected bond with Lou, and they positioned themselves between Lou and the adult tigers, as if to protect her. The adult tigers, sensing the cubs' loyalty to Lou, eased their tension and accepted her presence. The bond between Lou and the cubs remained unbroken, and in that moment, Lou was showered with affection by the young tigers, who remembered her as the one who had cared for them when they were helpless infants. This extraordinary display of love and loyalty reminded everyone present of the powerful, unspoken connections that can form between different species, transcending the boundaries that we often think of as unbreakable. The story of Lou and the tiger cubs serves as a beautiful reminder of the incredible power of love that transcends all boundaries. It's a testament to the bonds that can form between animals of different species, showing that love is universal and can create profound connections even in the most unlikely of circumstances. The unbreakable bond between Lou and the tiger cubs is a touching reminder that compassion and love have the ability to bridge gaps and create extraordinary relationships that defy expectations. It's a story that leaves us in awe and encourages us to recognize the incredible power of love in all its forms.